Hello and welcome to this YouTube video on the economy of the USA. In this video, we will take a deep dive into the American economy, discussing its history, current state, and the various factors that impact it. Part 1. History of the American economy. The history of the American economy can be traced back to the colonial era, when agriculture and trade were the main economic activities. Over time, the economy evolved and became more industrialized, leading to a significant increase in economic output and the creation of many new jobs. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the U.S. became a major player in the global economy, with industries such as steel, oil, and automobiles leading the way. Part 2. Current state of the American economy. Today, the American economy is the largest in the world, with a GDP of over $21 trillion. The economy is driven by a diverse range of industries, including technology, healthcare, finance, and manufacturing. The U.S. is also home to some of the world's largest companies, including Apple, Amazon, and Google. In recent years, the U.S. has experienced steady economic growth, with low unemployment rates and a strong stock market. The United States has a mixed economy, which means it combines elements of a free market economy with elements of a planned or command economy. In a free market economy, individuals and businesses make their own economic decisions, while in a planned economy, the government decides how resources are allocated. The U.S. economy has been growing steadily since the end of the Great Recession in 2009, but the COVID-19 pandemic had a severe impact on it. The U.S. economy shrank by 3.5% in 2020, and the unemployment rate increased to 14.8% in April 2020, the highest level since the Great Depression. However, the U.S. economy has been recovering since then. The unemployment rate dropped to 4.2% in September 2021, and the GDP grew at an annual rate of 2% in the third quarter of 2021. GDP and economic sectors. The gross domestic product, GDP, is the total value of all goods and services produced in the U.S. economy in a given period, usually a year. The U.S. GDP was $21.4 trillion in 2019, the highest in the world. The services sector is the largest sector of the U.S. economy, accounting for around 80% of GDP, followed by manufacturing, 18%, and agriculture, 2%. Labor market and unemployment. The labor market is an essential part of the U.S. economy. In 2020, the labor force participation rate was 61.4%, and the average hourly wage was $29.96. The unemployment rate is a significant indicator of the health of the labor market. As mentioned earlier, the unemployment rate increased to 14.8% in April 2020 but has since decreased to 4.2% in September 2021. Inflation and prices. Inflation is the rate at which the general price level of goods and services in an economy is rising. In 2020, the U.S. inflation rate was 1.2%, which is below the target rate of 2% set by the Federal Reserve. However, in 2021, the inflation rate increased to 5.4% in September, which is the highest rate in over a decade. Government spending and budget. The U.S. government is responsible for providing public goods and services, such as defense, education, and healthcare. In 2020, the federal government spent $6.6 trillion, or 31% of GDP. The largest expenditures were on Social Security, healthcare, and defense. The federal government also had a budget deficit of $3.1 trillion in 2020. Monetary policy and the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is the central bank of the United States and is responsible for implementing monetary policy. Monetary policy refers to the actions taken by the central bank to influence the supply of money and credit in the economy. The Federal Reserve's primary tool for implementing monetary policy is the federal funds rate, which is the interest rate at which banks lend and borrow reserves overnight. The Federal Reserve has two main goals: promoting price stability and full employment. To achieve these goals, the Federal Reserve adjusts the federal funds rate, buys and sells government securities, and provides liquidity to financial institutions. International trade and balance of payments. The United States is a major player in international trade, with exports and imports totaling $4.9 trillion and $5.5 trillion, respectively, in 2020. The United States is the world's second largest exporter and the world's largest importer. The balance of payments is the record of all economic transactions between the United States and the rest of the world. In 2020, the United States had a trade deficit of $617 billion, which means that the value of imports was greater than the value of exports. Economic growth and development. Economic growth refers to the increase in the production of goods and services in an economy over time. Economic development, on the other hand, refers to the improvement in the quality of life of people in an economy. The United States has experienced steady economic growth since the end of the Great Recession in 2009. However, economic development has not been equally distributed across the country. Some areas, particularly rural areas and inner cities, have experienced slower economic development and higher poverty rates than other areas. Part 3. Factors that impact the American economy. Several factors can impact the American economy, including government policies, international trade, and natural disasters. The U.S. government plays a significant role in shaping the economy, with policies such as tax reform and trade agreements affecting economic growth. International trade is also a key factor, with the U.S. importing and exporting goods and services to countries around the world. Natural disasters such as hurricanes and wildfires can also have a significant impact on the economy, leading to disruptions in supply chains and causing businesses to close. Part 4. Challenges facing the American economy. The U.S. economy faces several challenges, including income inequality, climate change, and an aging population. Income inequality has been increasing over the past few decades, with the top 1% of earners capturing a disproportionate share of economic gains. Climate change poses a significant threat to the U.S. economy, with rising sea levels, more frequent and severe weather events, and increased health risks. Finally, the aging population is putting pressure on Social Security and healthcare systems. However, the U.S. economy also has many opportunities for growth and innovation. The U.S. is a leader in technology and innovation, with Silicon Valley in California and other tech hubs around the country. The U.S. also has a highly educated workforce and a favorable business environment, which attracts foreign investment. Part 5. Future of the American economy. Looking ahead, the American economy is expected to continue growing, albeit at a slower pace than in previous years. The country is expected to face challenges related to an aging population, rising healthcare costs, and increasing levels of debt. Additionally, the U.S. will need to continue adapting to changes in global economic conditions, including shifts in trade and technological innovation. Conclusion. In conclusion, the American economy is a complex and dynamic system that has undergone significant changes throughout its history. While it faces several challenges, it remains a global powerhouse, driving innovation and growth across a range of industries. As we look to the future, it will be important for the U.S. to continue adapting to changing conditions and addressing the challenges it faces in order to maintain its position as a leader in the global economy. Thank you for watching this video on the economy of the USA, and I hope you found it informative.